Hello, everybody. How are you? Awakened Woman podcast. My name is Claire Bird. I'm the identity and confidence coach here at Inspired Lifestyles, and I'm super proud to have you listening to me today. And we are up to season 2 here at the Awakened Woman podcast. And today's real talk is going to be solely around deliberately holding yourself back. So we are streaming to my Facebook group at the same time. For those listening on the podcast, welcome. I hope you've enjoyed all of the little snippets so far, and this one's going to be a cracker. So the setup of this podcast is I have some guests join me sometimes, but I also just go freestyle like I am today, and I bring a bit of real life moment to you. So a bit of a background. Hello, I'm Claire. I am a mum of 2 boys. I'm a wife to a talented tradesman, and together we also own a small business here in Melbourne. So together we are living an absolute cracker of a life, but it has not been without turmoil, tumultuous times, sadness, hurt, and disappointment. Over the last 2 years, we have broken down our marriage into millions of little pieces, and we have been busily working away wholeheartedly, passionately, and intimately bringing that all back together. And I now speak passionately about how, as mothers, we must find our identities so that we stop living in the shadows. Now, this brings me to today's topic of where are you deliberately, or when have you deliberately held yourself back on purpose so that you don't stand out? And what have you regretted every single moment of it? Really interesting topic, because as mothers, we would not tell our children to hold back. We go full throttle, and I'm going to bring a really great chat to you that I had with Slater, my 11-year-old, my eldest, 2 days ago. So from a people management career, I have managed many people over many, many years in a corporate life. So in the previous version of me, I was a corporate queen, and I have helped so many women and men achieve their goals and mentoring them through really difficult stages, and seeing the potential and giving them the awareness around their God-given gifts, because we all know there are so many things in life that you are naturally born with. And so many of these people have needed gentle nudges. People have needed to be pushed a little out of their comfort zone, because I know that they are completely capable of living a little bit in the shadows, but with style and grace, without arrogance. So the question is, where have you held yourself back? And as I share this story, it's really important. Why I wanted to speak about it today is because it has been a massive light bulb for me over the last 2 days, that my legacy, my actions, my practices, my little habits rub off on the little people around us. Now, if you've met my 2 children in real life, well, you're welcome. I have 2 completely different kettles of fish. I have an introverted, social, kind, loving, analytical 11-year-old, and I have a completely extroverted firecracker of a 7-year-old, and they are best mates and completely opposite ends of parenting. So thankfully, I've been a people manager and I know how to work with people for a very long time, because it's helped me get to the point of living with my 2 boys. So fast forward or backtrack to a chat I had with my eldest 2 nights ago, when, as an introverted child, he is very much holding himself back. He has so many natural talents. It is phenomenal. The amount of natural ability this child has. He picks up a sport at the click of a hat. He is switched on. He is not creative. He's me. Not in the sporting sense, but in the analytical sense. He is one of those people that has a natural talent that is going to bring people magnetized to him, and he's a natural leader. Now, he is a great basketballer, but has told himself a story that he is too short. He is little for his age. He's going to be a late bloomer, because Cole's 6 foot. I'm not. So hopefully they get the hype from Dad. So we had a chat, because I go to every basketball game. Very fortunately, now I work from home. I get to go to inter-school sports. So for those mums that are watching and get to go to inter-school sport on a Friday, tell me in the comments how freaking amazing it is. Because, and if you're listening on the podcast, please just comment, tag me as well at Inspired Lifestyles. It is phenomenal. It is such a great community, especially when you've known the kids from grade prep and you're watching these grade sixes bloom. I get to now experience watching him play sport, and he does it so well, but he has it in his head that he's not fast enough. He's not tall enough. He isn't slim enough, not in a body negative way. He just sees it as it is. And he's not fast enough reactively to get to the ball, and isn't as good as somebody else who takes the ball and runs with it and doesn't pass. What I see is a child that has a natural ability, that is process driven, is so perfect in every element of his game that he is strategic. Now, you cannot teach strategy to kids and you cannot teach strategy to adults. You get it, you get it, you don't, you don't. And he does get it, and he has it. And it was a chat that I said to him, and it was these exact words: why do you hold yourself back? And he started to get emotional. And this is when I know I'm pushing the boundary of his comfort zone, because I'm asking him to be vulnerable. I'm asking him to push through that barrier of, don't shut down and say it's all okay and cry and we're going to forget about it. It's about a conversation we're having, so that together as a mother and a child, we are going to break down those walls and take our relationship to a newer level. But me allowing him to hear my advice, not just from a mum. So we had a chat and I said to him, why are you holding yourself back? And he says, I don't know, I'm not. I said, well, you are, because you are a shadow of the person that you are that sometimes you play on a Saturday. Now, he plays in a great new team on a Saturday, and they are brilliant kids, love every single one of these boys. And all apart from Slater have never played before, but you wouldn't even know, because they've got natural talent and they've got confidence. So he says, I said to him, what do you mean when I say to you, you're holding yourself back? And he said, maybe I'm not running fast enough. So there was a different comprehension of what he thought. So once I explained to him what holding back means, and he was, you're fearful of people laughing at you or criticizing you or calling you a nerd or saying you're pro or having a dig at you, why are you worried about that? And it came down to when I dug a little bit and I pulled that little thread and we were a little bit of coaxing, it was because he was so worried about standing out. He doesn't want to stand out, but he's in this out of alignment with his body. You know, he's so wanting to push and let his skills show, but he also doesn't want to stand out from everybody, because there are kids that are faster than him, better than him, taller than him, more accurate than him. So we had a decent heart to heart. And what broke my heart at the end of it was that he's displaying the same traits that I have now. So I've never put myself out there apart from in the last 2 years. I would never put my hand up. I say I was always better working in the background. I always let people take my ideas and run with it and let them have the accolade, because I didn't want eyes on them. But there were so many opportunities I missed, so many travel moments I missed, so many job opportunities I missed because I wasn't brave enough to say I want this, and not internally say I want it and then regret it or be resentful or come up with an excuse as to why it didn't happen. Be brave enough to vocally say, I want this. And me and my legacy as a mum, forgetting about whether I'm an identity coach or whether I'm a confidence coach, I coach women or kids, whatever it is. My legacy as a mother is that my kids don't do the same traits or learn from the issues and the struggles that I've had. And that is something that is very, very prevalent and very obvious to me, is that I don't want my kids holding back for fearful of someone else having a dig at them because they're jealous or they think it's funny to tease someone who's got a natural ability. So we had a little chat and he is totally on board. We understand where we're coming from. He had a training session yesterday, and when I asked him how he went, he told me he did all these amazing things, but he said it with a deeper confidence and a smile. So I knew that the chat we had 2 nights ago had lamented something in his mind that he's allowed to go for it. And I said to him, you're allowed to show off, not in an arrogant way. There's a difference. You're allowed to show your skills off. Okay. You're allowed to show your skills to people. You're allowed to make sure people see you for a phenomenal sport player who is so technical and gets it right, who can read the play. And that is what is amazing. So that thought got me thinking about a topic for today, because whenever I think about my kids displaying struggles or traits that I have that I've known I've had to overcome, that's something that I know I'm not the only one who has these struggles. And I thought it was a really poignant part. Where are we holding back? Have we held back in conversations? Are you in the middle of a flat spot perhaps in your relationship, and you're holding yourself back from having a conversation because you're fearful about where it's going? Instead of being fearful about where it's going, why don't you think about that perhaps the two of you are on the same page and just don't know? You're waiting for each other to make that step. Perhaps in your career, where are you holding back? Have you asked for more responsibility? Have you asked for a pay rise? Have you asked for better conditions? Have you seen and contacted a recruiter to see if there's any other opportunities out there? Or are you sitting behind your computer waiting for a diamond encrusted platter to walk by your desk and Prince Charming to go, here I am, darling, I'm here to sweep you off your feet for the rest of your life? It does not happen. Okay, it doesn't happen. You've got to take that step. You've got to make yourself seen. You've got to tell people that you're interested, put your hat in the ring. Because you internally might be really, really wanting this change, this relationship, this job opportunity, this more money. But if you're not externally showing people that you're dead set serious about it, they're going to think you're disinterested. When I used to manage people, everyone had equal opportunity. I had people at different levels, but everyone had equal opportunity. There were some people who held back and didn't go for it. And there were some people who had the confidence to go for it and ran with it and figured all the how out later and have gone on to do amazing things in their life. Okay, so take that chance on yourself. The worst case scenario is you're going to stay exactly where you are now in terms of career and job. If you don't ask for a pay rise, if you don't ask for a better job, if you don't start looking, if you don't see what other opportunities are out there, you're going to just stay exactly the same as you are now. Uninspired, bored, watching the clock 9 to 5, thinking, gosh, get me out of here. Not really getting your mind thinking, not really getting your enthusiasm, not really finding a passion, sitting in a job that you dislike for 50 years of your life just because it's a job. We're not in the 1970s and 80s anymore where we are stuck in the same role forever because that's all we know. We have so many opportunities, hybrid working, remote working, if that is something that you are into. People are going back to the office as well. But let's talk about yourself. Okay, let's talk about us as women, not mothers, not workers, not wives or partners, as women. We continually not have those friendships, miss those networking events at school, miss that opportunity to meet friends who are going to enrich in your lives because you're so fearful of judgment. You're worried about what they're always thinking about you. You don't wear those clothes that you like because you don't want to stand out. You don't want to be eccentric. You don't want to be a little quirky because you got to fit into the mold. Well, what's the mold anyway? A mold is something that is unachievable. The mold is unachievable because it's driven by an Instagram filter or a TikTok filter. You're not going to be chasing something from 20 years ago because it just doesn't exist. You need to really hone in on what is it that you want for the next 40 years of your life. And if you sit there and I've asked you that question and you don't know, okay, let me ask you this. Are you happy to be exactly where you are now for the next 40 years of your life? To feel the sadness, to feel the emptiness, the stuckness that you have, that lack, that scarcity, that uninspired motivational levels that are not going to do anything for you. Are you happy to persist with that for the next 40 years of your life? And if yes, then congratulations. You're living your best life. But for the 99% of you that have said no, then let's start working on that. Find what you want to do. Don't have to throw it all away and do an eat, love, pray tour to find yourself. Just start doing what feels good. Now, here's a tip on that. If you start doing stuff that feels good to you, it's going to make 0 sense to 99% of people around you. They're probably going to judge you because they don't know what it's like to be you, to experience you, to see the world through your eyes, feel the world through your touch and your senses. Okay, but persist and keep going with that. Persevere through that, because it's really, really important that as an individual, we don't fit into the mold at all. We want to break the mold. Okay, we want to break the mold and fit into something that is so unique to us. That is what is important when we talk about holding back. Okay, and the other side of holding back is that resentful feeling that we feel. It's a jealousy feeling that we feel when we've held back, we've said no, we're not ready, don't have enough money, whatever it may be. We're not. Someone who also is not, but just runs with it, we sit back and think that should have been me. That should have been me on that stage. That should have been me writing that book. That should have been me taking that job, winning that accolade, taking that award. That should have been me. That should have been me earning $10,000 more. That should have been me taking that promotion. That should have been me being brave enough to say I want to work from home if you're back in the office or whatever it may be. It shoulda, it isn't. It isn't you, because you haven't vocally expressed and externally expressed to the world that is what you want. Remember, we're sitting in social media, we're scrolling through life every single day. People are scrolling past you. What are you doing to stand out? What are you doing to show off your skills? Not show off in an arrogant way. So how are you showing your skills? How are you showing your intentions? How are you showing your excitement? How are you showing your interest, enthusiasm, motivation? Okay, how are you showing off your love? How is everyone seeing you as a mother? What are you doing to stand out? What are you doing to stop hiding? Okay, are you brave enough to sit off to the left a little bit and not go with the consensus, because it's not really what you want to, you're not a sheep. Okay, who's ready to be a black sheep with me? Okay, who's ready to be okay? Because the difference between confidence and arrogance will walk into the room going, I'm sold this whole room, I don't need to be here, they need me more than I need them. Confidence is, that's okay if no one in this room likes me, I'm okay on my own. But it's going to be a bonus if somebody comes along and I make a few new connections. Okay, it's about learning. The willingness that you have to learn and expand and grow is the confidence level you bring to every conversation, every meeting, every intention that you set for your day. Imagine confidently setting an intention every day rather than just, well, you're going to stick to it a little bit more. Imagine confidently performing a habit. Imagine confidently going for a walk, confidently eating, confidently working out, rather than just, oh, whatever, it'll do. You're going to probably get more benefit. You're going to feel a whole lot beneficial from moving a little bit more intentionally. Okay, and you're going to be inspired a little bit more to go back and have a crack a bit. That's what it's about. Okay, so identifying in these areas where you hold yourself back. Now, like I said at the start, we were taught not to pull on threads on clothes, because what happens when you pull a thread? It all falls apart. But we need to start pulling at the little threads that we have holding us together, because each of those threads is a story that we are telling ourselves, whether it's true or untrue, as to why we can't be who we want to be where we want to be, and have what we want to have. So we start working together and we start pulling apart all of these little stories together, and we find their origins, and we work out, is it in the true basket or the not true basket? And we start filtering all that down. We end up pulling everything out onto the floor, and we have the opportunity to then piece back and knit together a beautiful masterpiece that we really, really want. And you're not just picking everything up on the way. That is what life is about. It's about breaking everything down into a bazillion little pieces and then working out what part you want to keep, so it leaves gaps for learning, for new people, for new experiences, okay, for love, for passion, for intimacy, for education, for parenting, for holidays, experiences, excitement. Okay, it's really important that you keep little gaps in your body so that you can fill stuff in. Okay, and then you keep pulling another thread and make some more space. So it's really important that we start to think of holding yourself back is, what am I missing out on? And am I prepared to feel it resentful for the rest of my life? Am I prepared to feel jealous that everyone else is excelling above me because I didn't say yes or didn't take that chance? Because that's what holding yourself back is. And go back to this video and listen to the experience I had with my son and how I explained to you it's affecting an 11-year-old because he's mirroring confidence levels in me. Okay, it's really interesting when our ripple effects start absorbing what we are putting out. It really gets the gears going and changes that intention. Okay, this is happening. What else are they noticing? Okay, and that's where it's really important that our ripple effects and our legacies come into it, in that what do we want to be remembered for as an 80-year-old version of us? What do we want the family, the 2 or 3 generations to have because of us? Okay, do we want them to be grumpy and resentful and not visit, or do we want them to be empowered and learned and educated and have real life experiences and stories to keep telling and great memories? Because that's what your legacy should be. Okay, everything is a learning opportunity. So ladies and everyone listening, I trust that this has been amazing. If you're watching on the Facebook Live, thank you so much. Please go along and comment and I will come back and say hi. For those listening on the podcast, you guys rock. Thank you so much. I'm really excited to bring some cracking guests to you this year. All about confidence, all about identity, and how we as mums and working mums and women find our little confidence peaks every single day. So I really look forward to seeing you in the next episode, and I'll chat to you soon. Bye.